Welcome to Real Estate Success Partner. We're your hosts, Devin Dubuque,
David Wind,
and we're here to talk about how to have great success in every market. Today, guys, we've got a returning guest, Christina Wagner from Florida. And Christina, you've brought somebody along with you today. Who do you have?
I am so excited to introduce Josue Collado. He's from University Realty in Gainesville, Florida, and he is top notch, the best that I know in the industry. I'm excited.
And Josue, we had a chance to talk to you in the green room and hear about some of the really cool things that you guys are doing for the local college community there. And I think our guests would love to hear it too. So super excited to have you here on the show. And thanks for joining us today. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Josue. Are you from Florida originally?
No, I'm actually from New York. I grew up just outside New York City. I'm from Westchester County in a town called New Rochelle. I was born and raised there all the way through 18 through high school. And then when I left to go to college, I decided to move to Florida to attend the University of Florida, which is in Gainesville, and that's why I'm here now.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So you studied there, loved it so much, you said, this is where I want to be.
I definitely got tired of the snow, and once I accumulated myself to the warm weather and 75 degrees in January, then I was like, I'm not going back. So I stayed behind, and I started working in real estate here, and it's been great ever since.
That's fantastic. Well, there has to be a reason why you chose the University of Florida. What brought you down there? What was it that you said, man, this is where I need to be?
Yeah, great question. I think first, I was looking for kind of a closed campus feeling to my college experience. Second, I heard about the University of Florida actually with Tim Tebow and his whole two national championships winning football titles there. So I came for a campus visit in my senior year of high school, and I just have never seen anything like that. There's 2,000 acres here of closed campus. Obviously, the sports programs are all big, and just the business school in general just draw my attention. And once I saw just the UF network and the Gator network, I just really attracted me to that, and I decided to be a part of it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, infectious. What's crazy is as we're recording this, Netflix just released a special on that. We didn't even plan that out. So, kind of cool that we're having you on this week, and you get to represent, right? You get to represent a little bit.
That's right, represent the Gator Nation. In summary, I flew to California or lived there for a few months in 2019. I'm in Santa Monica. I sit down at a restaurant, and we're watching the NBA final. Turn to the guy next to me, ask him where he's from, and he said, I went to University of Florida. So Gators are everywhere. Gator Nation's everywhere. So, and it's growing too. So I'm excited to be a part of it.
That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. Well, we're glad you stayed because you're doing some great stuff out there in the community. But let's talk about that segue a little bit. So you graduated school. Did you go straight into real estate?
I did, yes. So actually, I did my bachelor's in business administration, and then I got my master's in real estate at the University of Florida. They have one of the top real estate programs in the country. And while I was doing my master's, I was working in real estate lending for a major bank. But then upon graduation, I decided to stay in Gainesville, and actually I joined University Realty, which is the brokerage that I am part of now. And they are the number one kind of university real estate option that there is for here in Gainesville. So it's been great to be a part of it so far.
Well, that's awesome. And you talked a little bit about that with us, but let's share that and kind of explore it with our followers. So University Realty, specific focuses on what?
Yeah, so our niche and our what we specialize in is helping parents of incoming students or just any university students acquire property near campus. Obviously, there's tons of rental options nearby, but why not build equity and be able to buy and sell real estate if you know your child is going to be at Florida? So I just think the model that we focus on not only works great here in Gainesville, but I think any major college town across the United States, you can do it there too. So instead of having your child rent 4 years, you can just buy a condo and rent out the other bedrooms to the friends of the student. And then once the child graduates, then you just sell the property after 4 years. And the good news is that college towns like this, it's turnover always. So people are always incoming every year, and then people are graduating every year. So the risk is really minimized because you know that people are always going to be going to university, especially a top college university like UF. So that's
awesome, man. And let's make sure they heard that, right? So listen up, all you parents of juniors and seniors in high school. What Josue is talking about here is you're looking at moving your child to a university setting, in this case, University of Florida. And traditionally what happens is your student is going to move into college housing, or they're going to go into a local rental, and there's no equity being gained there. You're spending a lot of money, and because there's somewhat of a control with the investors in the market, they can even drive up those rental rates. So it can make it a little bit more expensive to move into the right home. However, if you're going to meet with Josue and his team, they're going to help you identify properties that you could purchase for your student, and simultaneously look for homes that are multi-units where they can move in their peers, and you can actually collect rent and gain equity while your student is in college. So this is an amazing concept. And like he said, this doesn't have to just be University of Florida. However, on this podcast, that's where our focus is on the University of Florida. So amazing stuff that you're doing out there, Josue. And I love the fact that you're bringing this up because we do have a lot of parents out there that don't explore this as an opportunity. Let's talk a little bit about how that works and how you guys make that an easy process for them. What does that look like?
Yeah. So first thing is once their student gets accepted to UF, which typically happens the February before their fall semester, then they start having to look for housing. As you mentioned, their options then are getting into a dorm or student rentals nearby, or buying a condo or a single family house near campus and going that route instead. So we like to put ourselves out there immediately in that, especially in the spring, when students are getting admitted, letting them know, hey, there's another option other than renting. So we do that via social media, whether our website, condosinGainesville.com, and just also word of mouth is a lot of it as well. So the experience that we provide is, from a sales side, we obviously we live what we sell. So both of our brokers went to University of Florida. I actually went there as well, like I mentioned before. And what we want to provide a service for parents, we ourselves would want to do it as well. So I wish I would have known what I know now when I came as a freshman. But yeah, I think I want to hit on two things. Is number one, the living experience. Most parents complain that the dorms are way too old. In fact, when I moved into my dorm hall, it was built in the 1960s. The parents that were dropping off the kids that I went to school with, they also lived in the same building. So imagine just the experience there. And number two, like you said, you're not building any equity. So in my 4 years of college, I spent about $50,000 to $60,000 of rent. When you go the option of buying, not only do you get to live in a lot newer, more recent building, 2000 to 2008, let's say, so your livability is much more enjoyable. But then number two, you're renting out rooms that can maybe pay for the mortgage or at least cut it in half. And then number three, you're building equity in those 4 or 5 years that you're staying there. So if I would have done it, I would have gained about $100,000 in equity, and I would have had the opportunity to, in a sense, live rent free because my mortgage would have been paid by my roommates.
Yeah, well, rent free and pay for some of that tuition, right? College is expensive. And this is an opportunity which allows for people to cut back on some of those expenses and actually maybe gain some equity while gaining an amazing education. So I think this is a great topic. And I really love what you guys are doing out there. The fact that you put focus on that, because when you are a parent, you may be going, well, that's great in theory, but who do I trust to represent me? And you guys have made that easy. You've coined the real estate agency as University Realty, and you know exactly where your focus group is. So absolutely fantastic stuff. Christina, I've got to ask you a question. How did you find this guy?
Well, Josue is, I'm just astonished about his success that he has created in such a very short period of time. His volume is over 40 units a year, I believe. Is that right, Josue? And do I have that right?
Over 30, but yeah, close to that.
We're going to call it 40 because the year's not over yet. It's September as we're doing this recording, almost October. But
I think he may be missing a few. I don't know. So
Well, hang on a second. Did you get the memo that there's a rate increase and there's no real estate being sold right now? You didn't get that memo?
You said real estate being slow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's complaining right now, but it
Yeah,
sounds like
yeah. So I mean, here, real estate can be slow, but college is not slow. So people are still coming in. Things start to dip in the fall because obviously students secure their housing for the fall semester already. But I'm already getting buyers starting to call for next spring already and next fall. So yeah, they like the supply is still limited, and that's still keeping demand pretty consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and, I think, again, we talk about secrets of success. And, that's really what you've got here is you've got a secret, or not so much of a secret, but you got a secret to success. Your secret weapon is while some of the other agents out there are putting their focus on just, any homeowner, you found a niche product here, and you're focused on it, and you guys have developed a team around it, which has made you somewhat of the local industry expert, right? So kudos to you and the team that you represent, for figuring that out. And that's why the name of the show is Real Estate Success Partner, because we're looking at helping people out there that want to understand how to have real estate success. How do you find it? And I think we're talking about two different types of success here, right? Because today we're talking about the success of you in the real estate side of the business, finding a great niche and being able to deliver that product out to the consumers. But number two, these are the customers that you're serving, right? And as a result of what you guys are doing, you're helping them create real estate success. But I think there's another layer to that. And you talked about it in the green room. How about that success for the student? What happens with the student, Josue, when they've been a part of that type of a process?
Yeah, so getting them exposed to buying and selling real estate at that young age, once they graduate, they already know what the process looks like. And then once they go on to their full-time jobs, they're not looking just to rent anywhere, but they're actually looking to start building their real estate portfolio right away. So that is tremendous value to the student, because school teaches you a lot of theory, but not necessarily practicality and actually doing building your own business, building your own brand in a sense. So this process really gets a hands-on approach for the student. And like most people know, real estate is, at least in America, has been, I think, the number one method of wealth building in the U.S. households. So again, what a great way to, not work your way into debt, but in a sense, start building equity and start building that real estate portfolio that can carry you above everyone else at a young age.
Yeah, you're helping coach people to generational wealth. And you're starting it at that young age where a lot of new students, their interest is, hey, let's go get a great education. Let's have some fun. And you're saying, hey, let's get a great education. Let's have some fun, but let's learn how to actually start building our entrepreneur side and looking at ways that you can actually create success within real estate, even if you are just a student. What I think is really unique here is you went to school for real estate, right?
That's correct. Yeah, I got my master's in real estate.
Yeah, and from what we discussed, they didn't teach you these type of techniques even in school, correct?
Yeah, I mean the program definitely was tailored towards more of understanding development and understanding real estate companies, and whether it be real estate investment trust or real estate sales, but not necessarily like how to build your own portfolio and how to graduate college and immediately look to buy right after. So, we touched on mortgage rates and kind of more industry technical terms, but not necessarily the more of the practical that we're talking about here on this call.
That's right. Well, maybe we need to start calling you Professor Josue. You're out there instructing, educating, these young future professionals how to start creating wealth. And that's, man, brother, it's phenomenal what you're doing. And, if you don't hear it often, you should. You're doing great things out there in the community. And, what we've found is, that's really the motivating factor for a lot of people in this industry is helping. But David, you've always got a good question you like to ask. Would you hit him with one of our famous questions?
Yeah, I got a couple. One, how long have you been a realtor?
Yeah, I've been a realtor now for 3.5 years. So I graduated college actually right when COVID hit. So I never got to walk the platform there. But yeah, I became a realtor July of 2020. So I started doing this when everyone was locked down in a sense.
That's awesome. I kind of knew that already, but I want our audience to know because, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to call you a rookie, but, 3 years in a business is kind of veteran numbers, but still learning the process.
There's no question he's doing veteran
I'm
numbers.
scared to see what you're doing in the next 3 to 5 years. I can't wait to see what you're doing in the next 3 to 5 years because there's veterans out there 20, 25 years in the business that aren't even doing close to what you're doing. That's number one. So kudos to you. Number two, in your short stint as a realtor, what's the one achievement or moment that you're most proud of?
Yeah. Well, I became a homeowner myself at 23. So,
That's
I learned
impressive.
from this whole process, and I found which areas in town are the highest growth potential areas, and I was able to buy in myself. And I mean, just in the last 2 years, it's completely just expedited our wealth, generational wealth process here with me and my wife, and yeah, I mean, we're just tremendously blessed and grateful to the Lord that He would place us here and that we would learn so much. So, yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing is being able to help others, but from a place of I'm doing it myself. I'm on this ride with you as well.
That's awesome, man. Let's talk about that. So, married. Let's talk about your other part.
Yeah, we always love to touch on
Yes.
family. It's one thing to talk about business, because we all are here for that. But at the same time, we consider success with our family lives as well, or what we're
Absolutely.
doing outside of work. So talk a little bit about that. So you're married. How long you been married?
Yeah, I've been married now 2.5 years, so 3 years in January.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And any kids or kids on the horizon?
No kids yet, but definitely we're preparing and doing our best to be ready for that.
That's awesome, man. That's great. And what's your wife think about what you do? Is she like you in the real estate profession?
Yeah, funny story. Her parents are both realtors too, down in Miami. She's grew up around real estate and the whole, whether flipping, buying, selling, rehabbing, maintenance, everything. So when the joke was that she wouldn't want to marry a realtor, just
Of course
to
not.
kind of get away from that in a sense. But she found herself with one here. No, she definitely, she loves what I get, like hearing me share my stories and just seeing
That's
me
awesome.
work this out. Yeah, it's just, we're here to provide service and a value to people. And I think when you make like providing value and service to others your main focus and your priority, like you get rewarded so much more than that than just a commission check. So it's been amazing to be able to do that. And yeah, like I said, being from Gainesville, going to UF, actually, I can tell the parents, hey, you want to be in this. If like I ask them, what major is your child going to study in, and they let me know. Okay, I know exactly what buildings you want to be, where you're going to be taking class, so I know where you should be buying or where you should looking, how long your commute is going to be, like how far walking is. So just providing that little bit of information can just go a long way. And even for when they're not, maybe it's not their time to buy. And I said, okay, what rentals are you looking in? I rented my whole life while I was, as a student here as well. So I can also provide value in that, even in dorm life. And I was a tour guide actually for the business school as well. So just providing value, whether it's real estate, whether it's academics, how to sign up for academic advising, which clubs should you be interested on, or just greater Gainesville life and so on. So it's been great being able to do that.
Well, you're the resident expert. You understand it from the inside out because you were a student first, right? And you got to have all those experiences and really understand, what the University of Florida had to offer. And now, from the real estate perspective, you can now help, educate not only the student, but also their parents, the what, why, and where they want to be. And that's amazing, man. I'm sure that really helps you with your journey there in real estate.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, I like to just serve them and they can tell when you're just salesy in a sense versus you're actually genuinely just trying to help them.
100%. Well, we can tell you're genuine. There's no question about it. That's the one thing, from the first time we did the pre-podcast interview, to talking to you in the green room, you're a genuine guy. You genuinely care. You care about the families that you serve, and you care about the community. Just when we started talking about the University of Florida in general, I could just tell that you really lit up with that. And that's probably what our followers really want to hear is, what's that University of Florida life like, right? When you're a student on campus, what's that experience feel like?
Yeah, great question. I think number one word that comes to my mind is opportunities. The opportunities are there, but you have to go and take them, right? So there's over 1,000 clubs on UF. So many things you can get involved in, so many things you can learn to choose to study in. For me, I would say the biggest benefit I took away as a student was not the academic part of it really, but actually how to think outside the box and how to be different. So yeah, really grateful just for the experiences I had, but then just traveling. I traveled as a student all over the country, and actually I went out of the country too. I went to Chile, but California, Minnesota, Texas multiple times, New York, and obviously different places here in Florida. Just seeing different cultures and dynamics of how people work together just made me really start to think and follow, choosing role models, I think. So actually how I got into my brokerage, as I think about it now, I had a boss when I was working in the bank. He told me this. He said, don't choose a job, choose a boss. And what he meant was, the role that you take doesn't have as much importance as the person that mentors you. So that changed everything. That's actually why I decided not to go with the bank, and I chose my brokerage, because my broker, Eric, I met him at church, and I just realized, man, this is a great guy. And just outside of business, he's a husband first and father and real estate guy, and just loves his community. And I said, that's the guy that I want to mentor me. He's been mentoring me now for 3 years. But that's why I'm at where I'm at. So I think Florida gives you opportunities to find mentors, but you have to be able to see it from that perspective versus I'm going in just for a degree. I'm going to do my 4 years and I'm just going to leave and then kind of just go what everyone else is doing.
I love that you said that, and coming from a place, of being, really new to the industry, to have that kind of wisdom, that's huge. And the reason I say that, we had a guest on a few weeks back, and, his name was Alex Perry. He's actually the largest real estate agent here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And he said something very similar. And he said, when you're choosing the agency that you want to work for, right, you have to make sure that you're choosing a community that you are wanting to be a part of. And doing it for the right reasons, because if you move into an agency just because it's a high profitable agency and nothing about the community, don't have any interest in the community, and they're not your people, you're not going to see a lot of success. But when you're doing it for the right reasons, when you're finding that right mentor that you believe in their values and that you guys share that kind of commonality with, and you're in a community that you both love, that's the way to choose the right agency, and the success comes with that because you're able to share that experience with somebody else that like, and trust. And that's such an important thing to know, man. So, what a piece of wisdom right there. Choose your mentor, right? We're not even call it boss. Choose your mentor, right? Who do you want to look up to? And if you look up to that person now, imagine what that career is going to be like, and the values and the happiness that you're going to have in your career, because you're doing it with the right people for the right reasons. You're pretty wise, Josue.
Yeah, only by God's grace. So once I saw someone that puts God first, and just the blessings that come after that, that just challenged me. I said, man, that's what I want to follow. So I thank God for all of that, because honestly, it's really not me; it's all Him. So
yep, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, and let me tell you something. If you're out there and, you're looking for somebody that you can put your trust in, that's going to guide you into the right home, that's going to help you, find a way for your student to have, an amazing collegiate experience, and simultaneously even a potential opportunity to, to gain some wealth and knowledge about entrepreneurship. Josue, brother, you're doing that stuff, man. You should really be proud of what you're doing, because you are serving your your community, right? And serving them for all the right reasons. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, if any young adults too that are kind of stuck in that place of not really having a mentor, I just want to encourage you to really seek, and you'll find it. It's gonna cost you because it's not common in a sense. Most people aren't thinking like that, so you might get ostracated by the society, or what are you thinking? But I mean, it just goes so far to really be mentorable and teachable and humble, and just say, okay, I'm willing to learn,
Humble.
and I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
I love that. I love it. Well, Christina, thank you for bringing Josue on. What a great guest, and I'm honored to get it, just the 30, 45 minutes that we've had to share with you. You're such a great guy and such an honest person, and I love that because that's a rare quality in today's world, and to know that there's people out there like that, that's a special thing. Christina, what do you have to say to Josue?
Well, I had the opportunity recently to work with Josue and one of his clients, and he is absolutely top notch in everything that he does. And we had a couple of different scenarios with this one particular loan, but he was able, a home that they were buying, and he just was on top of it. I mean, he just is top notch. Like, nothing passes him by at all. He's amazing, and everybody loves him.
He's an expert
Yeah.
In 3 years, he's become an expert, and it's pairing himself with the right mentorship and the education you had as well. I'm sure that didn't hurt. But you touched on something there, Christina, and we talked about this early on. I think we should definitely bring this up. I think a lot of people go, well, that's great. I might want to consider purchasing a home for my student, but I don't have 25% to put down. Do they need 25% to put down on a home when they're looking at buying a property for a student?
No, they're absolutely not. 25% isn't required. Obviously they can put 25% down, but you can. And some families do want to put that much money down, but in situations where they just don't.
Absolutely. Or
Right,
more, right? Or
yeah,
more.
but there are definitely options that they can utilize in the financing world for second homes. You can use it as a second home type of loan.
Well, not.
Primary.
And primary, actually,
Yeah.
Christina, and that's what we wanted to talk about here. So, as a parent, you can purchase a home for your elderly parent or for your college student that they intend to occupy for school as a primary residence. And a lot of people don't realize this, and I want to bring it up because you may have a lot of people that have that misconception of, that sounds fantastic, but it would never be able to work for me. I don't have that kind of funds to be able to put down that money. And the reality of the situation is they do. It's a minimum of a 5% down payment on conventional
or
and
3.5 on FHA.
On an FHA. So, if you're out there listening to this podcast and you're going, I would love to do that, but I'm not in a position financially to be able to do that for my student. You might be, right? You absolutely might be. And, that's why I thought it was important to bring it up, because some people don't understand the products that are out there, and they have misconceptions. And I think it's important to share that when we're on an educational journey like Josue is taking us on here today, of you can buy a home for your student, you can gain equity for your student, you can gain generational wealth, teach them entrepreneurship, and you can do it without having to be a millionaire, right? You can do it if you are just an average person who wants to make a great investment. So, well, Josue, I know we love having you here, and we like to take these things as long as possible, but we know you've got business to get out there and do. Is there any topic we haven't covered today that you'd like to cover?
No, we covered a lot of ground today, so I really appreciate all the questions that you asked. And I'm just excited to represent kind of a new generation of young adults that are off their phones and just, actually looking to engage in society and community and learn. So I think there's more to come, and I want to be a resource too for other young adults or older, whoever. But yeah, just continuing to learn, and humility can go a long way, as you guys mentioned before. So yeah, just really thankful that y'all would have me on, and I'm sure there's going to be a ton more after me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I got to tell you, man, isn't he the nicest guy?
He really is.
You're just a nice guy, very approachable. So, well, Josue, when the people out there want to find you, we know what area you primarily serve. Do you serve outside of the University of Florida in Gainesville?
I don't serve per se in Orlando or Tampa. However, I am familiar again with the university kind of model system. So I would say if you have any students across the state of Florida, I have connections in Orlando and Tampa and Jacksonville, Miami as well. So I can at least be a bridge to give you to the right people in a sense.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And when they want to find you, what's the best way to reach Josue?
Yeah, for sure. Well, Condos in Gainesville, that's our University Realty website. So you can learn more about my bio, my information, what we do there. And I have a Facebook page that's called UF Parents-Condos. There I'm posting listings and also information and just resources really for any parents looking to buy. Again, UF Parents-Condos. And then on Instagram, if you want to follow me, jcollado19.
There it is, guys. There it is. And let me tell you something, if you're looking at purchasing out there, you definitely want to move forward with somebody who's an expert in the industry. And despite the fact that he's been doing this for 3 years, he's been a resident for a lot longer than that, and he's studied real estate. So you can put your faith in Josue and know that you're in very capable hands. So we really appreciate having you on today. Christina, if the people out there want to find you and they need financing, how do they get a hold of you?
My cell phone number is 352-659-6812, or you can check our team out at thedubuqueteam.com.
There we go. And that's my name. I'm Devin Dubuque.
I'm David Wynn.
And we're your real estate success partners. If you want to find us, you can check us out at realestatesuccesspartner.com. Again, that's realestatesuccesspartner.com. We air these on all your major listening platforms, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. There's probably 20 or 30 different ones. If you're listening, you know how to find us. But we'd love it if you'd come on over to YouTube, where you can find us at the Dubuque Team, and we'd appreciate a subscribe if you can, and we absolutely appreciate those 5-star reviews. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, and until then, we'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Bye, guys.